So I need them to finish because I'm going to grade it and let everyone take it with them and keep it forever. But I had one absent today, so I still have someone who hasn't even had the piecewise quiz. So I feel like I still need to say these words, even though I assume you're this mature by now. If I see your quiz in someone's hands other than your own, since I'm letting you keep it, I'm going to let you and the person whose hands they were in both get a 0. So do not be that person. Do not do that. Your quiz is yours. Give it to yourself. I'm going to let you look at my key in case you want to see smartly what you did wrong so you can improve. But mostly I'm wanting Xavier to have it in Xavier's hands so Xavier can get it figured out. Because we are going to test next Tuesday. So he's got to make his piece with piecewise before next Tuesday. So let's rephrase this. Piecewise, graphing inequalities, which we liked, and then this parrot function and transformation stuff, which we like. So the only thing we really don't like on this next test is piecewise. So you're going to have to figure that out and get over it. There's something else with those quizzes, but it's not coming. Some people have done not so great, but a lot of people have done really well. Oh, here's what it is. If you did poorly, like it's out of 50 points, so I'm going to say below a 30. If you did below a 30, and you would like to retest, which means you would need to do that Monday, because let's face it, we're testing on the thing on Tuesday. If you would like to retest on the piecewise quiz, you're going to need to come Monday 0 period, but even just as equally important, before you leave the room today, hand it back to me, so I know that's what's happening. Good Lord. Because if Abby Grace walks out the room with it, I'm done with it. So if you're wanting to retest, you got to give it to me. Okay, there was something else, but it's not coming. Oh, the good news is today is a short day notes-wise, so there's not much I have out loud to say. But then I'm going to give you a chance. You have 32 through 34 and your notes that I said was homework last night. Maybe you did the easy graphing ones, maybe you didn't. I'm going to give you time today to get it all done. So yes, it is due Monday, as in I need to check yours on Monday. But seriously, Dre, I can get it done today and not have any homework this weekend. On your way in, you picked up the study guide. There, you have your giant packet. Andy. Perfect. Okay, I'm a blonde. Happens to the best of us. I was blonde twice this time. Yeah, I mean, I'm on it. The study guide, the first page of your study guide was on your notes already. But for some reason, I didn't copy both pages. And since I already had to copy the back page, I was like, heck, I'll just copy both pages again. So I don't know if you noticed that or not. So you already possessed it, but now you super possessed the study guide. The study guide is all we're going to do all day on Monday in class. That's what we're working on Monday during class. Besides, of course, math workshop. So it's going to be a grade. But, so DJ doesn't have to do it this weekend. DJ can get it done Monday. It is due Tuesday. But if DJ's trying to get ahead and he knows he's stuck on piecewise or he just wants to go ahead and do it, that's fine too. He does not have to go ahead and do it. I'm great with him not. But I remember there was one in this class last time who got it all done and then got so much practice. And lo and behold, she did really well on her quiz. I wonder why. So you can do it. I'm just going ahead and giving it to you. That is what we're doing on Monday. I think that's all the words for that. Oh, if you want to go ahead and get it, you already got a graphing calculator too? I'm so proud. I don't know if you actually did it or if that's just what I'm seeing, but I'm surprised. If you need a graphing calculator, come get it for my ADHD, OCD, LMNOP kicks in. Yes, dear.
May I go to the restroom?
You all have OCD and CDO.
Oh, yes, got it in order. I would. So we're going to go over these two math workshops. I get they were really hard for Friday. We're going to do easy points. Yes, I realize that means your group could potentially end over 5 today. You know, if you keep talking when I'm talking, you're going to end up less than 5. Okay. Whew. Your group could end up well over 5 today. First easy point. But you'd have to explain. Gloria is correct or Sarita is correct? Ma'am. Gloria. Do you know why?
Gloria subtracted 26 minus 17. She got 9. And Sarita got negative 9.
You can get 1 point and go to a 6, but if you weren't already at 5, I'd give you all the points for that, Abby Grace. She's the first person I'll know who's going at that. Okay. Let's talk about what Gloria did. Bless your heart, it's been 2 years since you saw systems of equations. You spent a lot of time on solving with substitution, elimination, and graphing. 2 years ago in your algebra class. You did. You spent weeks on it. Weeks. This is elimination because someone is eliminated. So there was this equation, 6x minus 4y equals 26. There was this other equation, negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 17. Negative 4y, positive 4y, they are eliminated, hence why it was called elimination. 6 minus 3 is 3, 26 minus 17 is 9. Gloria divided by 3, she got x equals 3. Then, a lot like what we've been doing lately, she knew one of her original equations was 6x minus 4y equals 26. She realized, hey, x is 3. So everywhere I see an x, I can put a 3. Then she said 6 times 3 is 18. She subtracted 18 from both sides. She said 26 minus 18 is 8. She divided by negative 4. She got y equals negative 2. There's nothing wrong in what Gloria did. Nothing wrong in what Gloria did. But there is something incorrect in what Sarita did. In first and second period, I had to point it out, and eventually someone got it. Abby Grace realized it to begin with. It's because of this negative 9. That's why. So Gloria is correct because 26 minus 17 is equal to positive 9. So what this reminds me of is what my job is. So I grade your stuff, and you make mistakes, and I have to figure out what you did wrong. And what she did wrong is 26 minus 17 is positive 9, not negative 9. So good for you. You were a good math teacher today. Okay, are there any questions about that one? Let's go to the next one. Now, we're good at graphing inequalities. This is just going to be graphing 3 and then seeing where they overlap. It's not a big deal. We talked about on the third one we should rearrange it. Tell me what we should rearrange it to get an easy point for your group.
Y minus 2x is less than or equal to 7.
Y minus 2x is less than or equal to 7?
Yeah.
Think about what you said. It was close, but no cigar.
Wait, y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 7.
Yes, okay, now you can have a point. Okay, and Abby Grace was saying y equals mx plus b, but she already got her 3 points, so she didn't say that. So we are going to graph this one. I'm going to graph it brown. You go up to 7. I get this is a weirdo viewing window. You and I are normally negative 10, 10. Why they gave us such a weird window, I don't know. Okay, and it's a negative 2 slope, so down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. I can't go up 2 any because there's not enough lines. I know I'm correct because negative lines tilt to the left. For another easy point, it's less than or equal to. So what am I going to do next? I heard shaded at the bottom, and I'm going to go there, but before that, it's a solid line. So I heard it from 2 and 4. 2 and 4 can have a point. Okay, so make it a solid line, and then, yes, everyone else had to shade it down because it's less than, so we shade underneath. Yay, if this was a test, like on Tuesday, we would be done because on our test, we're only graphing one at a time. But today in our math workshops, because for some reason on Fridays we like to do hard math workshop problems, we're going to graph 3 of these bad boys. The understood intercept on the second one down. What is the understood y-intercept on the second one down? And your group gets another point. My gosh, you'll learn it today. It's understood to be a 0. I'm going to graph this one in green. So I go to 0, I put my intercept. My slope is positive 2. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, down 2, right, left 1. Good grief, something. And then since it is an equal to, or greater than or equal to, I am going to use a solid line, not a dashed line. Now here's where some people get confused. We're going to pretend like that brown thing isn't even there. Just think about just that one green line. With just that one green line, should we shade over here or should we shade down here? You should shade above, so we're going to shade up here, so we're going to shade the top. Okay, so that seems a little confusing. Now it just looks like a hot mess. But notice the overlapping region between the green and the brown. And right, if we were done, we would say that is our solution set. But sadly, we still have one more piece to graph before we do our solution set. When you do this, if you're doing this in pencil, it's just going to end up being wherever you bore down the hardest because you've colored that same spot 3 times. Okay, x is greater or equal to 0. I'm going to do purple. That line is that y-axis. And since it's equal to, I am going to make it a solid line. Since it's greater than or equal to, do I shade to the right of the purple or to the left of the purple? I heard to the left. I also heard to the right. Which one is it? It's to the right because it's greater than. But did we want it to be to the left where all the other pretty colors were? Yes. But no, it's to the right. So darn it, purple. Got to be the odd man out and be over here all by yourself. Yes, dear.
So wouldn't our solution set be where all of them?
Yes, so Xavier's getting ahead of the game. So right now it just looks like a kindergartner colored some, I don't know what they did. It looks crazy. So we've done part A, we've graphed it. But Xavier's already trying to answer part B and he doesn't even realize it. It says there was a region formed by all 3 overlapping. And it wants me to determine the vertices of the region formed. But I'm going to rephrase the question differently. What shape did the region form? I heard it first from Andrew. He gets the point. It made a triangle. Okay, well, you and I are in a hurry because you want to know your quiz grade and I want you to have time to do your homework. So we're not going to actually take the time to find out the 3 different vertices of the triangle. But you can see how that would be really easy because the bottom one's 0, 0. It'd be easy to figure out the 3 different ordered pairs for that triangle from here. Now, that's the kind of question that they used to put on the, I know you don't have to take the Aspire anymore. I know that's not a thing. But that's the kind of question they used to put on the Aspire because they would have you do algebra with the graphing inequalities and they made you do a little geometry too. So, it's genius. It's genius, genius. Okay, get out your giant packet. Yes, I can try. In your giant packet, we're going to go to page, not 27, we're going to start on page 28. Again, today, we're filling in the parts we didn't fill in yesterday. Let's rephrase it like that. Okay, yesterday we talked about 3 different parent functions. 3 different parent functions. Those 3 different parent functions were absolute value, constant, and we renamed them linear because the weirdo textbook calls it identity, and I think that's weird. So, absolute value, linear, constant. Those were our 3. We're about to be like Jerry Springer and Maury, and we're going to play Who's the Daddy. So, you're given an equation. You have to identify who the parent is. So, which of those 3 was the parent? Other than that, we're still doing the same thing we did yesterday, which means we're still talking about transformations. So, meaning we're still doing translation. So you move up, down, left, right. We discussed specifically yesterday about how certain things make you move up, down, certain things make you move left, right. I hope you haven't forgotten that. Another kind of transformation that we discussed yesterday is a reflection, which is where you just flip. There's a negative sign out front, and instead of being a happy V, now you're a sad V. It happens. And the last thing we talked about was a dilation, where you either you shrink or you get enlarged. And then what was my key phrase? Fractions make you fat. Table 2, my gosh. Get your point. Fractions make you fat. Reminding you of that. So if you were to look back at page, we worked a lot of examples. We worked number 6 and 7 on page 31. Those fractions make you super fat, whereas a whole number out front makes you skinny. Now, I went super smart on you yesterday on these. We talked about how instead of over 1 up 1, it was over 1 up 3 because it was a 3 out front. And we talked about instead of it being over 1 up 1, since it was a 1/2 out front, it was over 1 up a half. If you understand that English, terrific, good for you. If you don't, and you're still wanting to get everything right, when I look at your test, I just look to see, did you graph stuff correctly? I don't know how Jonathan got his graph. he might have understood that the way I counted it yesterday, or maybe he asked his graphing calculator. So I think we said this yesterday, but I just want to remind you. So on your calculator, you press y equals, then math. You scroll over 1 to 8 to NUM. I see absolute value. Someone mentioned this yesterday, and it was Xavier. God bless you, Xavier. If your group didn't already have 1,000 points, they'd give you another one today. Miss Cummins is a little slow, and I forgot that not all my calculators are fancy. You know how some old iPhones don't do the same stuff your new phone does? And so if you get the iPhone 10, it's going to do even cooler stuff. Okay, an 83, the black calculators, not as cool as the yellow ones. Alright, so an 83 is not as cool as an 84, which is not as cool as an 89. One issue with the 83 is that when I press math and then over to NUM and I press ABS, it doesn't automatically change it to the bars. We talked about yesterday, instead you have to put it in parentheses. It's terribly annoying. God bless it. So if you use a black one, just get used to it. You have to put it in parentheses. So if I want to graph number 6, I would press 3, then math, ABS, X. I have to close my parentheses and then press graph. The graph looks the same, but when you typed it in, it didn't look different. So if Jonathan can get to here and he can graph it on his calculator screen, and his question is, how do I put this on my paper? The easiest thing to do is press second, then press table, which is the same as the graph button, but it's written in yellow or whatever color yours is. So second table. And then you can actually check. So for instance, at -3, I'm supposed to go up 9. -3, 9. I could plot that point. -2, I go up 6. -1, I go up 3. At 0, I'm at 0. It says go to 1, 3. I could go to 1, 3. Go to 2, 6. Oh, I can't see anymore. Oh, I can scroll. Yay. I can scroll down to 3, 9. And if I had room, I could put 4, 12. So all the points that I got by counting, you can get from your calculator if you ask it nicely. If you ask it rudely and you didn't type stuff in the right way, it is not the calculator's fault. It is your fault. I'm so sorry. It happens to the best of us. It is your fault. Okay, so that's that. Are there any questions about the calculator stuff? You know I'm going to answer whatever you want until Tuesday, because come Tuesday, if you press the minus sign instead of the negative sign or any of the mistakes we talked about yesterday, I'm just going to laugh in my head. I'm sorry. I'll try not to. I get that is a little rude, but I'll try not to. Okay, so what we're doing today is like a Jerry Springer Who's the Daddy. So the first one we're doing is the bottom of page 28. We only have 7 daddies we need to identify, thankfully. Only 7. More children were not produced yet. So number 1 is our first debate. Who is the daddy of this function? Is it an absolute value? Is it linear, or is it constant? It's absolute value. Okay, if you're confused, let me give you a little reminder. If there are no x's whatsoever, there aren't any x's in your equation, then you need to pick the constant as the daddy. If you see an x, then you better pick linear. If you see an x with the bars, with the absolute value bars, well then pick the absolute value dad. So if you're having trouble picking the daddy, you might want to write that little cheat sheet down. Okay, so not only do we need to pick the daddy, but we also need to describe the transformation. So the +4 on the outside, how does that make me move?
It moves.
How does that make me move? If the more who say it, the happier I
Up
get.
4.
Is it left 4 or up 4?
No, up 4. It's up 4.
It's up 4 because it's on the outside. Perfect. Are there any questions on number 1? Then let's flip to the next page and do number 2. I need to know who the daddy is on number 2.
Linear.
It is linear. I need to know what that -5 did to me. It moves you down 5. So you had a line, that was the daddy, and it moved down 5. That is its kid. Okay, are there any questions on 2? We get to 3. Who's the daddy on 3?
Absolute value when it moves you, that's 3.
abs val, and it moves you opposite of what you think. The inside is plus, so it's left 3. Are there any questions on number 3? Number 4 was hard first period, but maybe y'all are geniuses. It is linear, but here's the hard part. The 4.
Wait.
Does the 4 move me left, right, up, down? Does it reflect me? Does it dilate me? What does that 4 do? It would have to dilate you. It would have to dilate you because there's no plus or minus sign. If you said x plus 4 or x minus 4, I get how you would say maybe up, down, left, right. I get that. But it's 4 times x. So we're stretching it or shrinking it. So it's a dilation. And if you need a cute little picture to think about it real fast, coordinate plane. Here's my parents. When I multiply by 4, I'm changing that slope to 4, and that's making me steeper. So it's a dilation. If you're stretched or shrunk, and this one is technically being stretched, it's dilation. Okay, are there any questions on 4? Okay, then let's go to 5. Who's the daddy? I heard linear. You see those bars, right? Okay, I see the bars, it's absolute value. There are 2 things going on, because we're starting to think like a girl. We can do lots of things at once. There are 2 things going on with this one. What's one of them? It is reflected. If you want to put the word upside down, if you want to put reflected, I don't care if you put flipped, as long as you acknowledge that negative out front. Bless you. I don't care what words you put, as long as you're showing me you understand what that negative does. Okay, and the minus 2 on the outside, how does that move you? So again, and we were graphing some like this yesterday that got a little complicated. So you had the regular daddy. You flipped him and you moved him down 2. So he's down 2 and flipped. Woohoo. Not a big deal. Okay, number 6 and 7 are where we get to the more difficult. You gotta actually use the brain. We got this though. Number 6, let's do one thing at a time. Who's the daddy? Okay, absolute value is the daddy. What is the 1/5 gonna do? It makes you get fat, so I'm just gonna call it a dilation. But seriously, on your paper, if you put fatter, I'm gonna be happy with it. Fractions make you get fat. Okay, the minus 1 inside the bars. How does that make you move? The minus 1 inside the bars. It makes you move right 1. The plus 3 outside the bars makes you move up. If it's inside the absolute value bars, it's left right. If it's outside the absolute value bars, it's up down. Are there any questions on number 6? Okay, well, I'm really mad at number 7. Why am I mad at number 7?
Because it has too much going on.
What am I mad at on number 7? I'm mad at the 6. Where do I think the 6 should be?
Outside.
Okay. Now, I am the math teacher, and I can do what I want. We agree? So, I can do this. On your test, if you're given a problem, can you rewrite it and change it to what you want? No. God bless you, you can't. But I'm going to put it the way I want it. We'll come back to what it was in just a second. But for now, I'm going to rewrite it like this, just to deal with it. Okay. I know abs val's the dad. What is the 6 going to do? It's a dilation, and seriously, if you put skinnier on your paper, I'll be happy. Or skinny, I don't care. That's fine. The plus 2 inside, how does that make you move? The minus 4 outside. Okay, and you're like, okay, that looks great. So, are there any questions about the one we rewrote? Then let's talk about this original, because it's not the same thing. When we put the 6 inside, it's not the same. In fact, I think what I'll do is I'll graph both on my calculator, and let's look at their graphs. So I'm going to plot, if I can show it on the screen, I can. 6 math abs x plus 2 minus 4. And I'm also going to plot abs val 6x plus 2 minus 4. So I'm going to plot both of them on the same graph. Okay, if they were the same thing, wouldn't we have gotten the same graph? Did we get the same graph? No, so those two equations are not the same. So the 6 being inside does make a difference. So let me take off the one that we wrote in brown, the one that we decided we would rewrite because I'm the math teacher and I can do what I want. And let's look at the real problem we had, the one in purple. Okay, and then I'm going to do something that I do in AP Stats, but again, these are my calculators, and I can do what I want with my calculators. We agree with that? I don't know why I'm so sassy today. God, I'm sassy. Okay, so I don't need your sass. I bought these. I can do what I want with my calculator. You cannot. You didn't buy them, but I can. Okay, so we expected, the parent was at 0, 0. We expected with that 2 and that 4, we expected to go left 2 and down 4. So we thought the vertex was going to move here. And it didn't. Because I put my point, and you can see it. It's not where we thought it would move. So when the 6 is inside, not only is it affecting like my skinniness, or my fatness or whatever, not only am I being dilated, but it's also affecting the vertex. It's messing with that 2 and that 4. So if the 6 is inside, beware. I'm not this ugly. There will not be a description problem like this. However, I don't make the test, so I cannot promise that there won't be one like this that you need to graph. But again, Corbin is smart. Corbin is smart. Even if he doesn't understand how they made this graph, he does understand my calculator has it graphed. I've typed it in correctly. I can go to that table and simply plot those points on my graph, connect the dots, call it a day. So if you get a weird one, seriously use your table of values, plot the points, call it a day, and stop overthinking your life. Okay, are there any questions about this? Okay, then you've got 32 through 34 to handle those pages. And I swear, as long as you're not bothering me, I'm going to knock out those quizzes in the next 10 minutes tops.
I haven't nailed my quiz yet.
Yes. I don't care, but I actually trust you, Jessica. Don't prove me wrong. Okay. I'm going to put none because you're going to get 32 through 34 done right now, right? Okay. You really should. They won't get all.
Is it just this?
Yeah, it's just this.